No,
Please,
I think we've also spoken. Yes, let us.
Because you are the former police spokesperson, and I'll allow you to respond to that.
Right. And I'll go back to the point that our leaders set the tone.
Yeah.
The actions of citizens are set by the tone of the government. So one, when citizens perceive that the government is not concerned about their welfare, why? Because despite electoral promises, despite the data coming out from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics showing that people can't eat, can't put food on the table, we see a government with largesse. We see a government actually now begin to increase their own salaries to protect themselves from the taxes they want to impose on Kenyans. We see a government that is not responsible in the way that they're handling public finances, and they're putting a burden on people who are desperate. Further to that, they are not listening to the people because there was a public participation process and people gave views, experts gave views, citizens gave views, and the government has then turned around and not listened to that. Further to that, this government is not consulting with the opposition. We said way back when we saw that the country was in economic distress, that there is a need for bipartisanship in the way the country approaches the economic reality. Unfortunately, the previous administration did not do that. They did a handshake, but they did not put the issue of dealing with the economic reality on the table. They were lying, they were hiding information, they were pretending things are okay. This government has come in, they're making the same mistake of the previous administration. They are making decisions that impact Kenyans without having due consultation so that they gain legitimacy. Legitimacy is very important when a government doesn't have options, because this government inherited an administration, and their manifesto says it, that didn't give them the fiscal space to do what they need to do. So there are poor decisions. There is a lack of leadership in the way this government is conducting itself in a time when we're in an economic crisis. They should have done, and there are examples that are made, there are proposals that were made, it's also constitutional, stakeholder engagement. Let us have consensus. Where are we cutting money so that we can spend? Last point I'll make in response to the erroneous and very unfortunate statements made by Honorable Ruku and other political leaders. If you look back to what caused the post-election violence, it's this vitriol, this personalization and demonization of a political leader who commands the support of half the country. When you make these irresponsible statements, and I wonder what happened to the National Cohesion Commission, because they should censure our politicians on both sides. This vitriol shows a lack of leadership, and it also fans violence, and it fans that anger when citizens who voted for Raila Odinga, who support him, see that their leader is being torn down. So, like I said, the tone is set by our IG and the tone that's given when the life of a citizen is lost because of a police bullet. It's also set by our political leaders in the utterances they make. We saw a foreign trade dignitary coming here and refusing to engage with the minister of this country, humiliating us on the regional, on the international stage because of these very irresponsible utterances. Let us learn from the past.
Okay.
Hawkishness and this kind of very bullish talk and bravado, too much testosterone in the room, this is what caused the post-election violence, and unfortunately, we are seeing a repeat of those events where there is a lack of legitimacy, there is irresponsible statements on both sides, including here, and also on the other political side, and that's why religious leaders have come out to say, calm down. Stop this, let us talk. We are one country. We have major issues, we don't agree on everything, but let us talk.
Okay. Ruku, do you think Kenyans are facing a hard time economically?
Yes, it is true. Kenyans are facing hard times economically.